So good evening, welcome to June 6th, Enosburgh Selectboard Town Meeting. People present with us tonight are the following. Introduce yourselves and if you would please.
Okay, Jessica Eagles.
Phil Robtoy.
I'm Pierre Letourneau, Vice Chair, and we have...
Billy Joe, Town Clerk.
You want to... Yeah,
Jesse Wood, Zoning Administrator.
Yep, might as well throw you in.
Yeah.
And you want to go Joey too? We'll get him now.
Everybody. Town Road, Joey Clark, Town Road Foreman.
So on the agenda for tonight, we're starting at about 6:05. Is changes to the agenda, liquor license, parking lot, Ryan Bacchus, and then the executive session. Is there anything else that we'd like to add this evening?
Do you have an extra copy of the agenda?
Yeah, I need one too. We have one.
Oh,
Here's
I-
what I'm on.
oh, okay. Thank you. Let's see.
That we can think of?
I don't think so.
Okay, so moving ahead, we'll do liquor license first. Well, where's Joey following this?
Oh, that is a change to the agenda.
Okay, so the change to the agenda.
Because he was supposed to be on from 6:30 to 7:30, but then
Okay,
we had a
so
cancellation.
So he's gonna be 6:05.
6 to 6:30. Or roughly there. If you're quicker,
It's-
that's good too, Joey. That's okay.
we need a motion on the change.
I'll move to change the agenda, put Joey on from 6 to 6:30.
And I'll second.
So you've heard the motion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed, so pass. So, whenever you're so-called ready, Joey.
All set?
Mm-hmm.
So welcome.
Thank you. So first thing is not that it matters that much, but we got a rejection letter from Better Roads, the grant that I applied for, the box culvert on Tyler Branch.
Oh yeah.
But we ended up getting it for the structures grant, so I guess it doesn't matter, but
So we got a grant for it.
well, not until the 1st of July, we won't know for sure, but we've been, it's being sent in, and if we get a signed contract from the state, then it'll go through, but yeah. Until we have a signed contract, then there's no guarantee, I guess, but.
Is it more money from Better Roads or from
From the structures, actually, you can get, they'll pay up to 90% of the structures, where Better Roads are only gonna pay like $60,000, total of $60,000, and the box culvert itself is gonna cost a little more than that, so we're actually better off, I guess. But anyways, we got the rejection letter, cause I actually thought we were gonna get the Better Roads grant, and I was gonna try to see if we couldn't apply it someplace else, but
Worked out for the best.
it's not the case, so. And then, the grants and aid projects have been going on the last few years, where you can go in and take a section of road and stone line the ditches or grass them and remove berms and different things to get them up to the water quality standards for these are on hydrologically connected road segments. We just got a letter of intent to sign to participate again next year. So it's just a signature. I got it filled out. It's just a signature here. The chairman signs it. So with that, they come up with an initial offer of money that we would be eligible for. So Enosburgh Town is going to be with the initial offers. V-Trans initial base offer $37,500 for a total project of $46,000. We'd have to do a project or combination of projects that would equal up to $46,000.
Oh, hey, Dean.
So, yeah, and this usually end up being eligible for more than just the base offer because some towns don't participate. It's like
Oh, yeah.
3-4 towns don't participate. Everybody
Gets a little bit of
else
an
gets a
increase.
little bit more. So,
Yeah.
so something well worth doing is stuff that needs to be done anyways. So that's that.
Oh,
Did you have to apply for that? Or is that
Yeah.
just something
Well,
that carried over?
No, this is basically the application right here, just for
Oh.
signing the letter of intent. I mean, it's
Oh,
not
nice.
not really a separate
Yeah, that's
application.
great.
They just come out with a round of money each year, and if towns to give them the chance to participate, and this is it. So
Great.
part of water quality money is some stuff that started a few years ago, and trying to clean up the streams.
Do you have like a certain roads that you like
Yeah,
have that
yeah,
in
there-
mind, like each year?
Yep, we have to apply for a permit each year to do this type of work.
Yeah.
And it's cost us like $1,350 a year to
Wow.
for this grant each year to work on these pieces and
Would that help with the sugaring vehicle? Like, would that help at all with that kind of issues?
no,
Not really.
No, it's more of a
Drainage and stuff.
cleaning ditches and stone line them if certain slope or grass line them with stone check dams, just trying to mitigate
Yeah.
erosion and
Okay.
changing culverts,
Yeah, all good
upsizing
stuff.
culverts.
Yeah.
To take, if there's culverts that's undersized and water goes over the road, washes it out, and this
Yeah.
will take care of it. And it's gotta be in what they call a hydrologically connected road segment. We have a map and it's kinda highlighted in red.
Yeah.
The segments, I think it's red, but they're different colors anyways, so different segments of road that drain into a small stream
Yeah,
are
that sounds
these
good.
hydrologically connected segments.
Okay.
And really, and then Bethany's not gonna make it tonight, so that was that part of it. And then I have a driveway permit application for a Nathan Wolf on Enosburgh Mountain Road. I've signed it and signed the application sheet and then notice to proceed if you guys choose to. Where he is, he doesn't need a culvert, he's on the downhill side of the road. You know where Woodpecker Loop is? This
Heard of
private
it.
road, Woodpecker Loop, just past there, probably 500-600 feet. Land that Albert Perry is told. And he's gonna build a house.
No buildings there now,
Huh?
there are no buildings there now.
There's a little shed like Albert had there for his, he had some animals, some steers or whatever, so he had the little building there to store hay and whatever. But he's gonna tear that down or whatever, but put a driveway down in there.
Yep.
So really, this is the only page you wanna sign at this point, so this is the notice to proceed.
okay. You feel comfortable enough with that?
Yeah, I actually haven't been there and seen it since he's applied for it, but I know right where it is, and even without looking at it, I pretty much know what he doesn't need a culvert, so. I'll probably put a few more notes in there once I do take a look at it or think more about it. He follows these standards on the back as far as the access and entrance to the road. Should be in pretty good shape.
Oh, we all need to sign.
That makes us, that's why it makes us all accountable.
And
Okay. Got it.
everybody gets to take.
Or credit.
That's
Sometimes.
right.
However you
Very
want it.
seldom.
However you want it.
How's the bridge work going?
Good, the membrane and paving may happen this week.
Every
Oh,
time I go
okay.
to like go that way, cause I want to see my parents, I'm like, oh, it's
I gotta go
closed.
around.
Yeah, I'm like,
One way or
okay.
the other. Yeah, maybe tomorrow, the membrane may happen tomorrow, and then paving will happen a few days within weather permitting after that,
Oh, nice.
the deck, so, Nikon's gonna do the membrane, and I've got, Hungerford Paving out of St. Albans gonna do the paving of the bridge, cause it didn't really work out with Pikes.
Oh,
They're a big company, and to do a little job like that, they had
Oh.
quite a number on their price, so.
oh, that's
So we're
right.
able to
Yeah, I
sub it out.
remember.
Subbed it out with Hungerford's quite a bit less.
Are we gonna go all the way to Duffy Hill?
We will,
Yeah.
Pikes will do
Oh,
that,
eventually.
but we've gotta still put some gravel on that end of the road.
Yeah.
So this way, the membrane paving will be done, we can use the open road up, we can go through there,
Oh, yeah.
trucker gravel.
Right.
Pikes will, when they're, works into their schedule, like,
Something up
should be
here.
the first part of July or middle of July maybe.
Did any bids come in on that?
There's your copy right there.
Oh, that's not due till the 20th.
Oh, okay, I
But
thought it
has
was
any
done.
come in yet?
No kidding.
Lots of times with anything that we've done with the
Yeah.
highway, it's always the last day or two.
Oh, really?
And since it's a Monday, it might be Friday and Monday, but most likely it's just Monday.
The main reason I ask is the salesman called today and said that thing's on the roads on Interstate 87 headed this way, so it'll be at their place tomorrow, so.
Well, good.
So I guess, and, so, I said, so when do we, how long do you have to have it? And they said, well, we could bring it up anytime, but of course they wanna know.
When we can pay
They wanna know if we're gonna trade or not.
No, they'll bring it up and then they'll invoice us, they'll have a couple months or a month, at least 30 days at least to pay
Oh,
for it.
I see. I thought
But what
when
they're
you pick
wanting,
up, because typically when we bought machinery, we hear like normal people, you know,
Yeah.
you're not
I mean,
leaving it until I have some money.
I mean, once we
But
get
you
it,
wanna
they'll
know
invoice
because
us.
of the difference of.
Well, yeah, see, if we know for sure that we're not gonna trade it, see, if we're gonna trade it, they're gonna drop off the new one, load the old one,
I
and
get you.
stay save it.
Yeah,
Okay,
same with
Oh,
trade.
that makes sense.
If they bring it up and then they decide, oh, we're gonna trade it because their bids weren't high enough, then they gotta come back
They're gonna
again.
charge us probably to go back and get it.
We'll probably lose what we're gonna save there.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of looks on Facebook though, right? Of that one, can you take a look and see how many
They are
bids it's
in.
at?
Most people wait till the last minute.
They do,
You probably didn't tell them that you're
Like, even
waiting
like
to
with
see if we could
snow bids,
I
Did
lawn
you?
bids.
Oh, yeah.
transparency.
So I
guess
told him
that
already,
works.
when he called the other day and said, this thing's built and it's sitting in their lot in Indiana, I guess he said it's got a VIN number, it's
Yeah.
just waiting to get shipped and they're supposed to come like within 10 days, well it did, cause it should be here either,
Over 1,000.
Wow,
Wow, that's
1,000
good.
people looked at
I
it.
looked at that.
wow, that's what it do.
Huh.
See it.
So,
Yeah,
so yeah, I
that's
did
good.
tell him, I told him, I said, well, we put the other one out to bid and we won't know till the 20th, so he said, well, the 21st, we ought to be able to deliver that thing up there then, so.
That works out, I guess.
Or he said we
Yeah.
could before, but like I said, if we end up trading, then you gotta come back, that's why I was wondering if there was some bids, we wouldn't,
Not a thing.
is it a sealed bid, we say that, or?
We say bids when,
Yeah.
but
Probably
we always
should.
act like they're sealed, so when
Right.
somebody comes,
Yeah,
either in the
should.
mail and we know what it is,
Right.
or over the counter we ask,
Yeah.
we just put tape on it.
Right.
Just so it looks
Yeah,
it's
honest,
sealed.
you know, so.
'Cause
Either
that's
way,
what-
it's
that's what I was
faking.
wondering tonight, if there's 3 bids, we could look and
Yeah.
say, oh yeah, well, I guess we're not gonna trade it.
At least over that.
At least over that, and if we're not gonna trade it, so then so we don't worry about picking ours up, we can bring it up, or whatever, it's not a big deal.
No, a couple weeks left. There might be some.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, they will.
Yeah, you never know, something, 3 of them come in next week and
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah,
you're over, whatever.
probably the 2 o'clock Monday, the 20th.
Yeah.
That's what we see a
People
lot.
bringing them in, dropping them off.
I mean, I know it's different than when Bethany does the sand and salt sheds, like people always wait till the last minute to hand it to her before the deadline.
I wonder why that is.
Yeah. Wow, they don't want somebody,
People just procrastinating,
I
I
guess.
guess, I mean,
yeah, they don't want the chance of somebody taking advantage of looking at something.
We should have like an auction site on that Facebook thing, just everybody keep raising the bid up on it.
Oh, and
Like
you asked me
eBay.
in an email about
You
somebody
might like
visiting
be
about
selling
Crown
loader
Rancho.
items.
That's actually a Jesse question because he's been handling the whole retirement thing.
Yeah.
So do you know if somebody's coming up?
Yeah, so I'm gonna send an email, I was kinda waiting for questions, I was gonna send an email out to just, or figure out who needs help or whatever and whatnot, so if
Yeah.
I'm happy to set up.
Yeah, if you have.
Throw some dates out to me and let me know, and then I can send it to that Brian guy and be like, hey, listen, you come up this day, you know, so.
Yeah, just any,
Yeah.
whatever, figure out what day he can be there and, we'll just, I'm sure it won't take long, just sit down and
Right, and
So
just
they
go
can
over what the details
ask
are.
some
Yep,
questions.
yep.
and-
Yeah, if you could just choose like an afternoon, then people can kind of
Right,
fill
so
in and out as they,
what happened was, so this Brian guy, he's kind of the salesman. And then I'm dealing with a Dawn Nito, she's through the state, so she's the one that's kind of the administrator of it, so.
Yeah.
He's, of course, is the salesman, he's really easy to get hold of, she's a little different to get a hold of, so it won't be a big, he's the one that's gonna come up and do the docking and stuff, so.
I've gotten some emails, it's Empower, does that sound?
Empower, it was Prudential and it just got bought out like April 1st, Empower bought it from Prudential,
I've
so.
got some emails and I've actually had the letter that we talked about and I haven't really even looked at it.
I haven't opened mine
I
up
haven't
either.
either, but I do know that a couple people have, and you do need to fill, when you fill it out, you do need to have it notarized.
Oh, okay.
So, do the tax exempt number, is it 27339?
Oh, I forgot all about looking for that. That doesn't sound right.
No.
I don't know that there is a tax. Let me look tomorrow before I say that. It's in my
Cause that
drawer.
Viking Chevy, we're getting the equipment for the truck
Send
one.
myself another.
We've never done business, so they're gonna open up an account, but they need their tax exempt number.
Well, usually I just do the form with our federal email on it, so I don't know if this, I don't know how to do that. But I will look tomorrow morning.
I filled the whole form out, I'm just lacking the federal, I think you call it the federal tax exempt number, or federal, I don't know. I thought it
Look
was
at that.
27339 for some reason.
You're probably more than right. More than right.
Did you say you sent stuff out for tonight's meeting?
I sent you the
I
history
didn't,
of
I didn't get anything. That's so weird.
And I even printed it today from what I sent you because
Yeah,
it was easier than me going back through my emails.
I didn't get
from
anything.
2018, so I just I just sent it last week, so I
Gotcha.
just
No.
clicked it on. So
That's
I did
so
send
weird.
It. Maybe it went to junk or.
Can I give you
Yeah,
that now?
maybe.
It's for this driveway, stuff.
And to that, Mary, I'll see you.
Okay, cool.
That's it.
Anything else?
No,
Thanks, Joey.
yep.
Super.
Thanks, Sean.
Thank you.
Want me to leave that here? Somebody else want me to? Jesse,
Yeah,
gonna get
I
up there?
think so.
No,
No, you can leave.
Yeah.
Okay, you go.
I report on the side.
Okay. See you later.
Yep.
Bye. Always some bills I've never gotten
Did you
through.
happen to take a look at 3 up on top? 3 up on top.
3 of them.
Just heads up.
What?
Page 3.
Oh, pantry. Oh,
Interesting.
I didn't. That is interesting. Does that mean different or just just interesting?
I don't know. I mean, just as a
Yeah,
FYI type of thing.
yeah.
Yeah, you can't count.
Oh no, that one's 242 taxable.
Oh, yeah.
In between.
Very friendly.
Yeah.
Maybe. Get one scrub or something.
Maybe.
I think I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about. Those are all legit.
Can I
Yeah.
say that again? Dean, or
Yeah,
just,
you got one, two,
like
and
that's
two.
not. It's not like it was like huge, you know.
Yeah, 2003, 7, and 13.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I've never seen
First,
that before.
Because when I heard about it, I was like,
I'm not sure if there's anything we can do.
I don't think there is, but it was just,
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
yeah,
we can
I
refuse
totally didn't. Oh, can you? Can we?
Sure, you don't have to sign it, right?
Nate was outside. it
Yeah,
does
but he's still,
Okay.
he's still.
oh, never had that happen before.
Is there anything, I wonder,
Are we concerned?
I would think the state would be more concerned than we
Yeah,
are.
the state would be more concerned than us guys.
I guess.
I mean, they're being honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sign in 2 places on this one.
Hopefully he's not delivering.
Yes, because one's liquor, one's beer and wine.
Oh, Lord.
Okay.
I don't. I'm not sure if he does.
Does Riley have any of this information?
He was, the one that is dated 2018 was given way back then, and I think reiterated over the last couple of years, but I do have a copy that he was welcome to take again with him.
Just one on
This is
here.
just all about that pile of dirt.
No, so what it is, I don't know if you, I mean, I can talk now, but
Okay, if he doesn't have
it's
that copy.
quick.
Yeah.
It's just basically to tell, they wanna avoid congestion on the
Yeah.
You find
corner,
more.
and they wanna basically use the lot on Depot Street as a staging area, setup area is what they wanna do. And when we were at the DRB hearing, we just said that, you know, they were willing to formally ask you guys and not just assume. There's another email we just had, the other one is about the soil contamination. Just basically you guys have to be notified that it's gonna be located at, leaches, that's all. It's nothing you guys
You
have
can
to
come in and sit
do.
down.
Nothing you have to do, it's just it's a legal notification thing, so, they started construction, or they started breaking stuff up today at Jolly.
Yeah, I see that.
Like I said, they just basically, what they wanna do is, you know, just.
They've already started the project?
They started,
Oh, wow.
yeah.
So where do they wanna stockpile this stuff?
Well, so they're
No,
starting.
no, I mean, on Depot Street, you said?
They're the upper house lot.
Oh.
They wanna just basically they wanna be able to, like, if they've got a low board, you know, or
Yeah.
an excavator or something, rather than congest that
Yeah,
corner.
yeah.
So they were, KAS was very, very good, and they
And
were
then
like,
this
well,
is-
we don't wanna just
This is
assume
what
that, we
Jesse
wanna
just
ask
That's
Oh,
cool.
right.
formally, you know, can we use that
Yeah.
lot? And they were gonna
Here,
come
I'll
up
just
here, and I
give
said,
you-
no,
okay.
just send me what you want, and I said, I'll go on your behalf and just tell the story of what's going on, so. They think it's gonna take about 3 weeks to change the tanks in there. They're 35 years old, so they're changing everything, new tanks,
Do you have it?
new wiring, new everything is what they're doing,
I just
so.
had it.
Punch it.
They're actually gonna be closed for a week, which
Oh.
is gonna be rough for that,
No,
which is
that's
gonna busy.
2018.
Oh,
Yes,
oh,
I got it.
So,
Yeah.
No,
See it in my
okay.
house.
right,
That's
right,
why I
so.
bought the computer. That way I can shoot right on.
Luckily, those were double wall tanks in there, so they weren't like red flag.
Yeah,
Cause around that time there were still some single wall tanks around there. If it was single wall, the state red flags, I mean, you have to like, yeah.
So, did we kind of,
Yeah.
okay, what Jesse's
About
speaking
that.
about, we have received a formal letter, and the thing is that should we be contacting the village also because they own, we share that property?
We don't share that.
Not the
We don't?
parking lot. no,
Okay,
parking lot's sold.
that's 100% ours?
Yeah. The village was notified
Oh,
about,
shoot,
the-
thank you.
I notified Gary about the project itself, and I asked him if he had any red flags with it when we initially got it. I notified, Kenny and Gary looked at it, the plans, and they didn't sign off, but they just gave me a verbal email that they were cool with it, so.
Okay,
Yeah, so they just basically, like I said, I don't know if you heard Peter, KS just didn't wanna assume that, you know, they were gonna use it, they wanted to formally ask.
Yeah.
That, so.
so this is a formal letter requesting usage of the parking lot.
Yeah.
On SPA-1-22/B-1-22.
There's 2 spots.
Yeah, that was their DRB hearing is what it was for, so. They're not storing any, the other email is they're doing storage of, material at leaches. And legally, they just have to notify, you guys that they are storing that there. It will be removed and taken out of there, but that's really
Okay,
nothing to do, just a legal thing, that's all.
Yep. so noted and have record of it on hand.
Yep.
All right then, pretty much on schedule. Next on the agenda, we have have Riley Bacchus. So if you would, introduce yourself and come on up.
Riley Bacchus, I live on Stonehouse Road, Enosburgh. Reason I'm here again for, I believe it's the 5th time in less than a year, is Mr. Benoit's cattle are continuing to run at large. Cattle have been out 8 times since the snow has melted, causing damage to my property as well as two or three of my neighbors, Mary Mason being one of them, and Mark Miles being another. And I mean, I've asked you guys to view the fence, I've asked you guys to install or adopt an ordinance. You guys have a similar, there's a similar ordinance with similar language for containing livestock for the village. It's a safety matter, it's a health hazard for the public. It's a danger to my children, myself. You guys have gone above and beyond to tell me why there shouldn't be. And I'm here again because this is important to me for the safety of my family. Because the owner does not care.
What new damage, or what damage has there been?
My lawns,
No, any new pictures, or, I mean, anything additional with pictures or anything?
yeah, I forwarded what I,
Okay, so my email's not, so, okay.
I mean, I have the dates written down here of all the times that I've seen them out. And the rental property of Mr. Bryant's across the street, he mentioned around the beginning of April that he's seen them out at least a couple dozen times. And I mean, they were out on March 23rd, March 30th, April 6th, April 7th, April 8th, April 9th, May 21st, and May 23rd. I understand. My parents had cows when I grew up, and I worked on a couple farms growing up, and I've never heard or experienced somebody having such difficulty keeping a fence maintained and their cows in their enclosure.
Now, with something like this, right, I mean, you don't understand, and I don't know if you had received this copy right here, that this is a civil matter?
Well, there are state statutes that state that the pound keeper is in charge of more than just cats and dogs. I have that statute right here. And you guys can charge per head, and they're supposed to be capturing and holding these animals according to state statute. This has gone on for a long time, and I understand that, but that is negligence on the town's part, and you're enabling the situation to continue. There are also statutes that you guys seem to think that the only job of a fence viewer is to view the division line. That's not the case. If you look at Title 24, Chapter 109, there's several, I think there's like 16 statutes under that chapter, and in that chapter, it's entitled Fences and Fence Viewers. Sufficient fences. 3801, sufficient fences. 3802, maintenance. Pasturing land without the division fence. And in that, 3804, it goes into detail and tells you, yeah, if there's not a division fence, but it also says the animals aren't supposed to run at large.
Your fence view and sections, are they talking about your division fences or more boundary fences than ones for cattle? Wouldn't they be, Riley?
It all-
Talking about there for divisions of boundary then rather than cattle or not?
Division between two. When there is no fence, the fence viewers are to go out and tell them where to put the fence, but they also have the ability to tell you how many animals can be on the property. If you go through and read the statutes, it says in there that the fence viewers have the ability to tell that parcel owner that they have the ability to have this amount of animals there, and also how much their fence is worth, what to pay up for a fence, if it's sufficient, and if it's been maintained. And you guys aren't willing to do any of that, but state statute said that you guys should be doing that, and I've been denied at my request at least 3 times that I can recall. I've come here and asked you guys to do something about this, and you guys just turn your cheek and look the other way. And I'm absolutely fed up with it. In fact, on May 20th, Larry had been keeping since April, when all the cows got out and the state police helped him put the cows back in the fence. Larry had been keeping his cows away from the road, away from my property, and on the 20th, the cows, out of whatever reason, they started coming over by the road, and I said, well, it's only a matter of time before the cows get out, and that very next day they were out. And then they were out again on the 23rd.
Can you refresh my memory? So your property, are they actually crossing the road to get?
Yes.
Oh, and you've seen you've seen them on your property crossing the road. I'm just.
Yeah.
I haven't seen pictures or anything, so I just want to refresh my memory with the layout. I couldn't remember.
I can't find them. This is on the 21st.
Okay.
And that's right on my lawn.
So if you could
And there
just,
was more than that.
how did they get there? They would have to cross, just
Well,
tell me
actually,
their path,
well,
if you.
on that day, I talked to Mark Miles after on the 24th, and he told me that the cows are over at his house. They came down through the sugar woods.
So they would still have to cross the road to get here? Okay.
And so they went on his property. We scared them away. They went, according to Mark Miles, they went back in the fence.
Mm-hmm.
And then later they came to visit me.
And that's is that the front or back of your house? Is that
That's the front.
the front? Okay, so they're on the front.
They're in my driveway. They're on my mound system. They're right next to my house.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I can't speak for the rest of the board, but we definitely hear your concerns. I think it's just a little bit of a matter of looking at the fence viewer and just the limits and you know what kind of authority there is there. I'm not sure. I mean, we do hear your concerns, that's for sure. It's just looking at a matter of logistics on our end.
Well, under the state statutes, you're definitely in your limits to.
Do you have an extra copy of what you're looking at? like,
I forwarded everything to
Oh,
Doug,
okay.
she
gotcha,
can,
I will get it,
And I
I just,
did get a legal opinion from Vermont Legacy.
Okay,
Student,
okay.
which is in front.
and I understand, the town's view, about the civil matter, but that does not,
Yeah.
that does not fix the problem. Yeah, I can recoup funds from Larry for damages or whatnot, for the animals damaging my property, but that doesn't, fix anything about the cows continuing to get out.
So how did they get back? So that,
They walk right through the fence,
so
they go
they,
right through the fence.
so that, the day you took the picture, like, did you have to like,
Oh, I shot at them.
oh, okay, and then that mean, that they know to go back however they came, or, I'm just trying to put it all to, like, so, how does it usually, so you usually shoot and then they,
No, I don't usually shoot, but I'm just absolutely fed up with it.
so this last time, that picture, so did they know to go back, like, how, I just wanna know how they got back.
Well, I don't know what they think, they're animals.
What did they do though?
They ran down the road
Oh, okay. So they didn't
And,
even, they were on the road?
to, and, well, I hadn't been home very long when, I'd been home maybe 10 minutes, and I sat down on the couch and I happened to catch something out of the corner of my eye, and, it was a cow in the window. And I got up and went outside. I wasn't happy. And the police can attest to that. I wasn't happy. And Larry can as well.
I'm just trying to decipher, so they come on, and then they go back, and then, so it's not like they're there all night, and then, like, they go back, and then they come.
It's not like they get out in one spot. It's like I said. Mark
It's
said
just wherever.
they came down through the woods. He doesn't know where they got out.
Okay.
But they get out in the road, they get out along the division line between Benoit's and Jarvis's. I mean,
So is there a fence that goes, I mean, you talk about the fence, is there one that fully encompasses?
well, like I said, it's not a very good fence.
But is it, do you know if there
I
is
don't.
one?
I've
No,
never
you don't
I've
know.
never walked the property line.
Okay. I'm just wondering if
I-
there's.
I have walked across the road along Jarvis's. I know that's a barbed wire fence, and that it's about 2 feet high. And cows have longer legs than 2 feet, so they're able to just walk right through the fence and over it, go wherever they want. And, I mean,
So in the process of,
cattle are a big animal. They're strong. Doesn't take a very big cow to overtake somebody, an adult, let alone a child.
so in the process of all of this happening, have you and Larry spoken recently? I mean, or are you guys not even on speaking terms?
No, it's not good if we speak.
Okay.
I mean, Larry has attempted to hit me with his vehicles. So, yeah. The only reason that, well, I don't get along with Larry is his behavior towards me and the cattle issue. And some other things have unraveled, obviously, because of the cattle issue and because of my talking to other agencies like Department of Natural Resources in an attempt to resolve this problem, so that nobody gets hurt, the problem doesn't escalate, and that's the reason why I'm coming to you guys to have a reasonable conclusion, and for something to happen so that it doesn't continue. But everybody seems to say, well, it's not in our jurisdiction. It's not in our jurisdiction. But it has come to the conclusion that you guys have the power to do something. And you have to choose to do
Who is
something.
that
about
coming
it.
from, Riley, that we have the power?
Department of Agriculture, Agency of Natural Resources, police.
But they've all washed their hands of it, correct?
Well, I've complained enough where the police are starting to issue tickets, and I don't know, I've never seen a
Do you have
copy of
that
the
in
tickets.
writing with the Department of like saying like if do you have anything in writing that would come back?
I'd
Because I mean that
I'd
would
have
be
to
good to
look.
look at.
have to look. But,
Yeah, we'd be interested to see that though, if you do wanna send that over.
I mean, apparently the Department of Agriculture has talked to you guys somewhere along the way.
Has Larry compensated you for any of the damages?
No,
Nothing.
no.
Have you called your insurance company to see if they'll go after his insurance company?
I have, they don't cover property insurance. I call, Mr. Larry Jarvis mentioned that, in 2018, and I called him then, and he mentioned it last time, and I called him again, and I already knew the answer. But they looked into it and they said no. Larry said that he had done something similar. Well, his insurance is probably different than mine, because mine's homeowner's insurance, not a business, not farming.
You're talking Larry Jarvis, right?
Yes.
Just because it's one of those things.
No, right,
Because
Right.
we're throwing names out, so it's like,
right.
Oh,
you know,
well, in my own experience, I've been called, I have a little landscaping business, to someone's home that had some damage from a farmer, and their insurance company, they called their insurance company, and their insurance company went after the farmer's insurance company. I mean, immediately.
I don't know.
So,
I have health insurance cooperative, and I called them and asked. And
Okay.
feel free to
Yeah.
inquire yourself.
so I say if anything right now, if you were able to get us the information of, what your responses are from the state, would be appreciative. In those departments stating that, you know, apparently we have,
Jurisdiction.
let's say jurisdiction, yeah, is a good word.
I don't know. I've talked to a lot of people, and it's always. Well, I wish you luck with your efforts to get this resolved, and good luck to you. But we can't help you. That's what everybody says, and it's absolutely bullshit.
Well, I mean, it is, but, and the thing is, by them stating that, then it's one of those that, you know, finding out if they're able to follow up with a letter on that, so that they are stating it.
Well, the police and the attorney general and the state's attorney's view on it is we deal with real crimes. We don't deal with this stuff. We don't deal with cows. But they're a public safety, and this is absolutely a public safety issue, especially since they're crossing the road and on somebody else's property where they have no business, and the property owner has no concern and absolute disregard. It's, oh yeah, those cows, and he actually blames it on me. He thinks that I sabotage his fence and I take his fence down. The other day I went by and his fence was down. And the state police and the Department of Agriculture were there one day, and his fence was down. And the cows were going towards the road. And they helped him put it back, put the fence up, put the cows back in.
How many cows are we like, if you were to estimate, like, are we talking?
Well, last year he had like 40 or 50 head, and you guys had some removed or whatever the deal was. And
How many are left, like?
this winter there was 8, and now he's got like 13 or 15. But regardless of the amount or whatnot, I mean, they keep getting out.
And who was the officer that was, that has spoken with you, the state police? Just so that we can follow up with him.
Lieutenant Pardon,
Pardon, P-A-R-D-O-N?
P-A-R-T-I-N, Trooper Conti, and Trooper Peterson are the three that I've been speaking with.
Are they all state troopers?
Yes.
Are we able to contact Mary Mason and Mark Miles, just,
Have we been contacted by them with any complaints?
Larry's contacted,
Larry?
but there's no complaints, he's
Yes.
contacted them.
oh, okay, okay.
Mary apparently spoke with Mr. Jarvis back in April sometime.
She did. She didn't have a complaint though. She said she called and told Larry what had happened and asked him to come fix her lawn, and he did.
All right, anything else you'd like to add this evening?
No, I just would like ordinance and fences reviewed.
Well, I think we can definitely, take another look at all of there's been a lot of information coming our way and, rightly so. I know I'm gonna take another look at everything, and if you have those, or anything that kinda says from the Department of Ag, or, about the select board, or, that just adds to the overall conversation of how things go.
Well, if you'd like
And you don't
to,
have to, do it right now, but,
feel free to call them yourself. The contact that I have for enforcement for Department of Natural Resources is David Mirish. His number's 802
can you spell the last name?
MURRISH.
Okay.
498-8189. And Department of Agriculture is David Huber, Huber, and his number is 802-461-7160.
And who was, who was he through? They're both through the.
No, David Mirish is with the
Natural resources.
Natural Resources.
Okay.
And so you're saying specifically, they said they can't do anything, but the town can. They
Yes.
said that.
Okay, I mean, we will reach out to them, for sure.
You considered, we've had this discussion, but
I'm not putting up a fence. I don't need to. If the cows wanna get shot at, they can come over on my lawn. If he wants some dead cows, he can continue doing what he's doing. I have a right to protect my property. I have to protect myself. I'm not handling the animals. They're big, dangerous. I'm not catching them. I realize that I can do that, but I'm not about to go wrangle a cow or whatever.
Putting up a fence would be a form of protection for you, not just as a town.
No, I'm not putting up a fence. I'm not putting any money into, I don't want a fence on my property. I don't need a fence. I shouldn't need a fence. I should be able to live freely without, confining myself inside the fence. And if I even put a fence in front of my property, well, what do I have to put a gate crossing at my driveway? I think you're being pretty unreasonable by stating that when the cows are supposed to be on the opposite side of the road.
I think there's a lot of things that are pretty unreasonable in this whole thing, but.
All right, we'll reach out.
One thing, Riley's, when I was over there planting corn, talking to Larry, it was surprising how concerned he was to keep his animals off your property with the relationship you two have. If I get along with somebody the way you two get along, I wouldn't give a shit. I'm surprised he cares the way he does.
I think that's just say something, say something.
Well,
If he really cared, he'd keep his animals on, he'd keep his fence on.
Alright, well, we're gonna bring this back to, we'll put this under review
It wouldn't be a problem,
and see what we can come up with.
because that's what nice people do.
Yeah, I don't think you have to defend yourself for not putting up a fence.
No.
I mean, we hear where you're coming from, and, we definitely need to take a look at everything. And, you know, it's just gonna take some time. We can't, it's not gonna be, it wasn't overnight and it's not gonna be fixed overnight, so, you know, we definitely need to look at some things and reach out to some people.
I mean, I brought it to your attention.
She's new to the board, she doesn't.
I'm
know what's
new,
going
yeah,
on.
I apologize, but,
And it's not, I'm not pointing fingers.
right, we don't, you know, I'm sure, we're all just doing the best, you know, like you said, there's some shades of gray here, it's not just like a black and white thing, but it's a tough situation, cause I hear
Right.
where you're coming from.
And I mean, I've talked to my legislator about it,
Mhm.
and, she made a bill in January, and the Committee of Agriculture is just sitting on it. She wanted to update the statutes so that they were, current, and they're just sitting on it.
Yeah, I don't have any other questions, I
I
just.
mean, I have exhausted all my resources, and it all comes back to what the town can do.
Yeah, and I think that's like what Pear said, we just need to reach out and we need to, have a little bit more understanding of our scope. So, and then we can do that, you know, within a reasonable time frame. So.
One other thing would be, last year, you guys tried to remove them, and someone took it upon themselves to, try to corral the cattle, and in doing that, they used a firearm right next to my house. And I was called by my girlfriend, and she could see them through the woods, and she didn't realize who it was. And a couple weeks ago, someone showed me a video of who it was, and they told me that it was Larry. And after that happened,
Larry who?
Larry Benoit.
I have the video, but you can't really tell in the picture from the distance who it is. Oh, he did send it.
And
Okay, so at least we've got record of it.
yeah, but I mean, that's just how out of hand this is. I mean, this is out of control.
They also
Right.
shot a bull too. They killed the bull, so I don't know. I don't know if it's that, but they had to remove one bull from there, so I don't know if that's the case. So there definitely was firearms used then to euthanize the bull.
Well, the video and the cattle that I'm talking about were in Jay Shepherd's field, and they were driven through the woods between the field on my side of the road and my house, through the woods and across the road. And so I called the police, and they responded, and I didn't know who it was. I wasn't there, and she couldn't tell. And she didn't want to go outside because obviously dangerous situation, somebody shooting and God knows where. So I told them the parties involved, and I've been being blamed because of the Facebook posts and phone calls that I made to cease the removal of the cattle. I don't care if Larry has cattle. That's the thing. If he's gonna have them, he needs to take care of them. He needs to maintain his fence. He needs to do his part, and he hasn't done that. And according to Mark Miles and Mary Mason, he hasn't been doing that for as long as they've lived there. Mary Mason's lived there for 20 years apparently.
I just have one more question. So do you think theoretically, if the cows were not to get out again or weren't there, whatever the situation is, would you still have any issues with Larry, or would you guys be like, is there more than just the cows, or is that the issue?
That's the issue.
Okay,
I
so
mean, when I first moved in, this is besides the point, but when I first moved in, Larry came to me and he's like, well, I got my chainsaw stuck in a tree. And at the time I didn't know the guy, and I said, yeah, sure, I got a couple wedges you can use. And I helped him. I didn't realize he wasn't even on his property,
okay.
cutting trees. It didn't really matter to me, but he needed a hand, and I didn't care.
So
Sure,
you don't foresee any issues once this is resolved, like you don't foresee like any other, there's nothing else besides the cows?
No, not really, no. I mean, I won't, at this point, I don't,
You can just
There-
be civil and, yeah, go separately,
well, there'll always be tension.
yeah. Right.
I mean, there's no resolving.
But the cows is what's kind of
Absolutely.
driving that right
Well,
now.
the cows are what started it and
Yeah.
have continued to,
Okay. We good for now?
sure, we'll
Thank-
take it out again.
Thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
Thanks, man.
All right. So it stands right now. You kind of got anything for us this evening?
We should actually, when we go to executive, we should take him first out.
Yep.
Cause he has no.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then we can, cause you're on duty, right? Yeah.
All right.
We
So
have 15 minutes.
Yeah.
looks like we'll be going to executive session. Need a motion?
I'll make a motion to go into executive session.
I'll second it.
So it's been moved and seconded that we go into executive session. All those in favor signify by saying aye. All those opposed? So passed.